Hello friends, welcome back. I am so glad you are here today. Before we begin, I want to ask you something simple. Have you ever been told you cannot do something? Maybe someone said you are too young. Maybe they said you are not smart enough. Maybe the door just kept closing in your face. Most of us know that feeling. It hurts. It makes you want to stop trying. But today, I want to tell you about a woman who never stopped. People told her no again and again. Doors closed in front of her every single time. But she kept going. She kept learning. She kept pushing forward. And in the end, she changed the world. Her name was Marie Curie. If you enjoy learning English through real stories like this one, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us make more calm, simple stories for you. Now let us begin. Marie was not born with a famous name. She was not born rich. She was not born in a powerful country. She was born in Warsaw in the year 1867. Warsaw was part of Poland at that time. But Poland was not even a free country then. Other powerful nations controlled it. The Polish people could not speak their own language in schools. They could not teach their own history. It was a hard place to grow up. But it was also a place full of people who believed in education, even when education was dangerous. Marie's full name was Maria Sklodowska. Her family called her Mania. She was the youngest of 5 children. Her father was a teacher. He loved science. He loved books. He filled the house with ideas. Her mother was also a strong woman. But her mother became very sick when Marie was young. She had a serious illness called tuberculosis. This illness slowly took her away. Marie lost her mother when she was still a child. Then Marie lost her older sister too. Her name was Zosia. She also got sick and died. 2 big losses before Marie was even 10 years old. But something inside Marie stayed strong. She kept learning. She kept reading. She was curious about everything. When she was a young girl, her father showed her some glass tubes with a golden liquid inside. He explained they were science equipment. Marie could not stop staring at them. She did not know then that science would become her whole life. Marie was brilliant in school. She finished at the top of her class. Everyone could see she was gifted. But there was a big problem. She was a woman. In Poland at that time, women could not go to university. The doors of higher education were simply closed to them. No women allowed. No exceptions. Can you imagine that? You work so hard. You are smarter than most people in your class. And still, they say no. Just because of who you are. Marie did not accept this quietly. She and her older sister Bronya made a secret plan. A very clever plan. Marie would work and send money to Bronya. Bronya would go to university in Paris. After Bronya graduated and found work, she would help Marie go to Paris too. So Marie became a tutor. She taught children in rich families. She moved to the countryside and lived with a family there. She taught their children every day. She sent almost all her money to her sister. She saved almost nothing for herself. This went on for years. Long years. Quiet, simple, sometimes lonely years. But she never stopped studying on her own. She read books at night. She learned math and chemistry secretly. There was even an underground school in Warsaw. Polish people met in secret to teach and learn things the government had banned. Marie went there too. She was preparing. She did not know exactly when her chance would come, but she was ready. Finally, the letter came. Bronya had graduated. Bronya had married a doctor. And Bronya wrote to Marie, "Come to Paris. Come and study." Marie was 24 years old when she arrived in Paris. She spoke French, but not perfectly. She had almost no money. She lived in a tiny room near the university. It was so cold in winter that the water inside her room turned to ice. She sometimes had almost nothing to eat. But she had what she wanted. She had a university. She registered at the University of Paris, called the Sorbonne. She was one of the very few women there. People stared at her. Some professors did not take her seriously. But she sat down, opened her notebook, and started learning. She studied physics. She studied mathematics. She was often the only woman in the room. But she worked harder than almost anyone else. She graduated first in physics. Then she went back and got another degree in mathematics. 2 degrees. First in her class. A woman, an immigrant, living on almost nothing. Then she met Pierre Curie. Pierre was a scientist. He was already known in the world of physics. He was quiet and serious and deeply passionate about science. He met Marie, and he was amazed by her. Not just her beauty, her mind. He asked her to marry him. She said no at first. She thought she would go back to Poland one day. She thought she could not stay in France. But Pierre was patient. He waited. He asked again. And eventually she said yes. They married in 1895. Their wedding was simple. No church ceremony. No fancy dress. Marie wore a dark blue outfit because she could wear it to the lab afterward. That tells you everything about Marie Curie. They became partners, in life and in science. They worked together in a small, cold, leaky shed. It was not a proper laboratory. The roof leaked when it rained. In summer, it was like an oven. People said it was not even suitable for growing potatoes. But that shed became one of the most important places in the history of science. Marie became interested in something very mysterious. A scientist named Becquerel had noticed that a material called uranium gave off invisible rays. Nobody understood why. Nobody had studied it properly. Marie decided she would study it. She started testing uranium very carefully. She measured the rays it gave off. She noticed something strange. Some minerals gave off even stronger rays than pure uranium. That should not have been possible if uranium was the only source. So she thought, there must be something else inside. Something unknown. Something new. This was a huge idea. A brave idea. Pierre stopped his own research. He joined her completely. Together they worked day and night. They processed enormous amounts of a material called pitchblende. They boiled it. They filtered it. They carried heavy buckets. Their hands were always stained. Their bodies hurt. And slowly, something began to separate from the material. Something tiny. Something powerful. They discovered not one, but 2 new elements. 2 things that had never been known before. Marie named the first one Polonium, after her beloved Poland. She named the second one Radium. The world of science was shaken. In 1903, Marie Curie won the Nobel Prize in physics. She shared it with Pierre and with Becquerel. She was the first woman ever to win a Nobel Prize. But the science world was still not ready to fully accept her. The French Academy of Sciences refused to let her become a member. They voted against her. By just 1 vote. She did not cry about it in public. She kept working. Then something terrible happened. In 1906, Pierre was walking in the street in Paris. It was a rainy day. He slipped near a horse-drawn carriage. The wheels went over his head. He died instantly. Marie was destroyed. Her partner was gone. Her best friend in the world was gone. She wrote in her diary, "I have lost everything. What do I do now?" But she kept going. The university asked her to take Pierre's teaching position. She became the first woman ever to teach at the Sorbonne. When she walked into that lecture hall for the first time, the room was full. Students, journalists, photographers. Everyone wanted to see this woman. This strange, brave, brilliant woman. She walked in quietly. She sat down. She began exactly where Pierre had left off in his last lecture. The room went silent. Then it filled with applause. She went back to her research, and in 1911 she won a second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry. 2 Nobel Prizes. In 2 different fields of science. No one had ever done that before. Nobody has matched that record in the same way since. But even then, life was not easy. Her health was getting worse. She had been working with radioactive materials for years. She did not know how dangerous they were. Nobody did at that time. Her notebooks from that era are still radioactive today. If you want to read them in a museum, you have to sign a safety form. Her hands were damaged. Her eyesight was failing. Her body was slowly breaking down. But she kept working. During World War I, she created mobile X-ray units. She called them petites Curies, little Curies. These small vehicles went to the battlefields. They helped doctors see broken bones and bullets inside wounded soldiers. She drove one of those vehicles herself. She trained over 150 women to operate them. She probably saved thousands of lives. Marie Curie died in 1934. She was 66 years old. The illness that took her was caused by a lifetime of working with radiation. She gave her life to science. Literally. She was buried quietly beside Pierre. But in 1995, France moved them both to the Pantheon in Paris. That is a great building where France honors its most important people. Marie Curie was the first woman ever placed there, on her own achievements. Today, her face was on the Polish banknote. Schools, hospitals, and streets around the world carry her name. The element she discovered, polonium, still carries the name of her homeland. And radium led to treatments for cancer that save millions of lives every year. So why does Marie Curie's story matter to us today? Because she was told no 100 times. She was too poor. She was a woman. She was a foreigner. She was working in a leaky shed with broken equipment. And she still changed the world. She shows us that intelligence is not about where you are from. It is not about how much money you have. It is not about whether someone gives you permission. It is about refusing to stop. Every time a door closed, she found a window. Every time someone doubted her, she went back to her work. Every time life knocked her down, she got back up and opened her notebook again. Her story is for anyone who has ever felt invisible. Anyone who has ever been told they do not belong. You belong. Your curiosity matters. Your effort matters. Keep going. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I really hope this story stayed with you. If it did, please subscribe and share it with someone you think needs to hear it. And tell me in the comments, whose story should we explore next? I read every single comment. Your voice matters here. Until next time, friends, stay curious, stay kind, and never stop learning.